Alright, we're doing radiator hoses on a 2007 Chevy Cobalt with the 2.2 ecotec. Has 320,000 miles. The hoses are collapsed, upper and lower. First thing we want to do, take the intake off, which I already done. We're taking that completely off. And then down in here, the bottom of the radiator, get a light. We want to drain the coolant. That, I don't know how good you guys can see that. Drain plug down there. Let's see if I can get that thing to come off by hand. Right, reach down here. No, that was easy. No, but you pull it out. Some come out, some don't. This one did. Put onto that so I don't lose it. Make sure it's going in the pan. And there's not much coolant in there. Alright, that's good to know. Alright, next. Take a pair of pliers. Like these old rusty things. Move the wires out of the way. And it's gonna make a mess. Go ahead, disconnect the battery since there's gonna be water on the alternator. I would do that. Personally, I would just do that. Don't have to. Alright, where did I put my pliers? Where did they go? Oh, give me a minute. Back. Lost these. And now, go up to these rusty things. Try to remove this. Rotate it a little bit. It's gonna allow some air to go in, drain a little bit faster. Yeah, she's draining. Just didn't look as much in it. Look. Nasty. And that's draining. Go ahead and wipe down this portion here the best I can. Well, they ain't doing much. Alright. Got that one drained. The other end of the hose, way back in there. Might be able to get this off and get to it a little bit easier. Give me a minute. Alright, the way it looks, you gotta remove all these pins. There's a bracket for the radiator. Move that off, and there's a cover. Let's go ahead and get that removed. Right, went ahead, move the radiator bracket. And move this back, gives us easy access to the upper clamp. Should be able to get the pliers on a little bit easier. Alright, got the upper hose out. Should look like this. This thing is nasty. Not the worst I've seen, but definitely soft. That's all integrity. Went ahead and put the new one on. The one down here was a pain in the butt to get to go on. We don't have that radiator support holding it, but we got it on. Next we'll go over here on the driver's side, get this other hose. This particular hose, not as bad as the other one, but while I'm in here, might as well replace both. I went ahead, took the bolts out of the thermostat housing. So I'm replacing that too to get to the hose back there. On this model, it has a 3-way connector down in there. You take out that small hose, get to the clamp on the other hose. For some reason they put it towards the transmission there, where I can't get a pair of pliers on it. But I'm changing out the thermostat anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead, 2 10mm bolts to get it free. Pull that out. After I get this other connector down here on the low half. This is the little 3-way connector I was talking about. One goes to your, I believe, the way that looks, down there. Goes to the reservoir? Well, so that goes to the reservoir. But this little plastic piece, want to be careful getting it out, because you don't want to bust it. For over time, this plastic can get brittle. But this one seems pretty good, so I'm going to reuse it. We use this hose here. This hose, this dexterity still looks good. And then put it back in the car. Went ahead, got the thermostat out. Way down back in there. Tell, little worn out. Some material got out. Gasket material down in it. Wash. So as that water go by, not letting the engine heat up properly. It kept on throwing code. Here's the new one. And it's dark. That looks completely different, but should still work. The new thermostat put into place. Focus, focus. There you go. Now time to put the housing back on, put the hoses in, connect everything back up. Finally got the other radiator hose in. I'm gonna say now that thermostat back there is a pain in the butt. But I say keep that off and that clamp loose right here. Keep it loose. So when you connect it here, you can turn that the thermostat housing to where it lines up proper. Makes it a whole lot easier. Now I've got left to do, put the drain plug back in, which goes right down here. Turn it till it stops, hand tight. You want to over tighten it, you break it. That's a whole new radiator usually. Go ahead, check this fluid. Not that bad. Expect to see worse. Double check everything. Make sure you put your bracket back on here for the radiator.